Hi, this is Bill over at Major Hiker. Just want to take a few minutes and talk about food kits and things that you're carrying in your EDC bag, as well as your day pack or your multi-day pack, and talk a little bit about nutrition in the field as well. So let's take a look and see what I'm carrying, and hopefully that'll spark some discussion later on. First of all, I carry my food kit in a 1-gallon Ziploc bag. And I like the 1-gallon Ziploc bags, especially the freezer rated ones, because they're a little more waterproof. Other people have different conveyances that they like to carry, and that's okay, but this is what I prefer. One of the first things that I want to consider when I'm going into the field as far as nutrition, or one of the things I want to carry, is I want to have some kind of a protein source, some kind of protein in my bag. And the easiest and most convenient way to do that is to carry some sort of dried meat. In this particular instance, I'm carrying beef jerky with me in my bag, and these are real easy to come by. These are commercial beef jerkies. I'm not promoting a particular brand here, but this is a typical beef jerky bag you could buy in your local grocery store or convenience store. And this is just something that's just real easy to get. Doesn't cost very much. You can stick it in your bag, and you have a little bit of protein with you at all times. One of the things to be aware of, though, with these commercial products here for beef jerky or any kind of dried meat, is they usually have a shelf life, so be careful about opening these up and leaving them in your bag for extended periods of time. You may find yourself getting sick eating these if you're not careful, so just be aware of that. Those of you that do your own dried meat, whether you smoke it or jerky it, hey, kudos to you for being able to do that. For those folks out there on a budget, hey, these are great little packs to get. However, it's not going to meet your full needs. Okay, these are just limited quantities, and they don't really meet the full recommended U.S. daily allowances for intake for protein. So just be aware of that. Okay, but this is a good source to have with you. Another option that these bring to the table is if you rehydrate them over time, you can use these for bait, for traps, or even fishing perhaps, depending on what you're trying to get. So good stuff to have in your bag every day, or whether you're going around town in your vehicle, or whether you're out in the field for a day or more. Okay, protein. The next consideration that I always want to think about when I'm going into the field or every day is fiber. Fiber is very important to the human body, and you can get fiber from vegetables and fruits, as well as breads and cereals. So one of the things that I always try to carry in my meal kit is one of these packs of instant oatmeal. Instant oatmeal is a great source of fiber, as well as vitamins and minerals to have in your pack. They're not very big. You can get a box of them for just a few dollars, and you get 3 or 4 bags of these. Sometimes you get up to 12 to 24, depending on how much money you want to spend. But you can get one of these little packets, and one of these packets is usually good for one bowl. I usually try, and one of the things that I do is I try to get these oatmeals with a little bit of fruit in them. I either get the ones with raisins and cinnamon, or I get the apples and cinnamon. So not only get the benefit of the oatmeal, but also get the benefit of the fruit that's contained also. So a good source is instant oatmeal. Another thing that I like to consider is starches. Starches are those complex carbohydrates that take a little while for your body to break down, but they always turn into sugar eventually. And your body needs starches, not just simple sugars, but you need carbohydrates in the form of starches. And starches are real good. Again, like with anything, you can overdo it, but a good way to get starch in your food kit is through these simple, cheap ramen noodle bags. Now, these ramen noodle bags are really great because they're about 2 servings per square. So if you cut these bags in half, you can really get about 2 meals out of them if you're really watching and conserving your food. Otherwise, you can eat one of these and be good for a day or two as well. Now, if you break these in half, the meal that they come with, the meal flavoring that they come with, whether it be beef or chicken or whichever your preference is, you're not going to get enough. So you might want to consider some bouillon cubes to carry with these if you decide to break these up and repackage these into smaller contents. But ramen noodles are a great source of starch in your diet. Again, won't meet your full daily requirements, and again, you can't carry everything you need in your bag, so these are just great in a pinch if you need something. Another way to get carbohydrates into your food kit and to carry with you at all times, again, as well, and this also, these little things that I'm about to show you are also very good for everyday carry, and that's the energy bars. Got to be careful with energy bars though, because again, they're high sugar content, a lot of them, and so you just got to be real careful about eating too much of those. But one of the things that I carry, again, is an energy bar. I carry these particular ones, but you got to be careful with these particular ones because they definitely do have a shelf life, and you can find yourself getting sick over time if you leave these for too long. There are some that you can buy on the market that are definitely more expensive, a little more high-end, a little more concentrated with vitamins and minerals, but for a person on a budget who's just going out for short periods of time in the field, maybe an overnight camping trip, don't want to spend a lot of money, want to go on just a regular day hike, these are great energy bars to have. But an energy bar of any kind is a good thing to have in your food kit. Now, let's talk a minute about hydration. Hydration is very important. We all know that. We all know you need to drink enough fluids to keep from being dehydrated, and being dehydrated out in the field is a bad thing, and it's a bad thing whether you're in the field or out of the field, but being dehydrated is not a good thing to do. However, there is a sickness that comes along that's due to overhydration. Now, when I was in the military, we had a couple of guys get medevaced out because they overhydrated. They had gotten those 3-liter Camelback water bladders, and they had drank 3 or 4 of those in about a 2-hour period of time because it was really hot and humid in Georgia, and they drank too much, and they flushed their system out of electrolytes. So when you're hydrating, part of the hydration is not just the water intake, but also the electrolyte replacement. And one of the best things that I've found for electrolyte replacement are these little packets that's put out by Gatorade. These little packets by Gatorade, these Propels, definitely you can use these for 1 packet per liter of water. So my recommendation is that for every 3 liters of water that you drink, you might want to consider pouring one of these in a liter and drinking it. I found the value of these, again, when I was in the military and I was training in Georgia, that when I got really sapped one day and I knew I was drinking a lot of water and I knew I was drinking enough water, I wasn't overhydrating on the water, but I was still feeling flushed, I was still feeling kind of not right. I took a little bit of Gatorade powder in a different container and mixed it in with my water in my canteen cup, and I perked up pretty good. Now, these again have a high sugar content. Those of you that are may not be interested in these commercially produced ones because you don't want the aspartame in your system or whatever, there is an alternative for electrolyte replacement, and that is carrying a packet of sugar with you. As well as carrying some salt. Now, in my salt shaker here, I carry with me, you can see I have the salt and then I have the pepper, but also I like to carry some of these little sugar packets rather with me. These little sugar packets are very good because what they do is, this isn't processed sugar. This particular one is sugar in the raw. It's sugar cane that's been processed naturally and turned into powder and granules, and so this is a good source if you're really organically inclined. I would highly recommend this particular type of sugar in your meal kit if you don't want the white processed sugar. I would highly recommend staying away from any sweeteners like Sweet and Low and things of that nature. While those may taste good and they may be something that you prefer, your body is not getting the sugar that it needs if you're taking that in. So just be aware of that. So what some people like to do with sugar and salt is they like to make their own electrolyte solution. And again, if you have a little salt in your pack and you have some of these sugar packets, you can easily mix up a little bit of that in a canteen cup full of water or a liter bottle and shake that up and drink it, and you'll get some electrolyte value out of that as well. Now, as we talk about salt, again, there is a controversy about salt. Okay? The Army Survival Manual recommends a little bit of salt. The Army military meals ready to eat, military grade meals ready to eat, carry salt in them, and they carry sugar. And part of that is because of what I just said. You could mix the sugar and the salt together to make an electrolyte solution. But also your body is sweating. Your body is constantly losing water, whether that's in the wintertime or whether that's in the fall, whether that's in the heat of the summer, and you're out in the field, you are constantly losing water, and you need those electrolytes replaced, because as you're drinking the water in, your body's sweating the water out, and salt and other minerals and vitamins are coming out through that sweat. And if you don't replace those electrolytes, you will find yourself in a hurt real quickly. Now, the controversy with salt is everybody says salt dehydrates your body, it's not good for your body. And that's true if you're eating salt all the time and you're taking salt in on a constant basis, such as drinking drinking ocean water if you're stranded at sea. Definitely not a good thing. But one of the things that I learned growing up in the deserts of California and the Imperial Valley and in the Mojave Desert is that the rescue teams always recommended that anybody going out into that environment take a little bit of salt with them. Why? Because salt will help your body retain water. And that's what you want your body to keep as much water as it can, and definitely in a desert type of environment. So what you do is you don't salt yourself down. You don't drink a whole salt shaker, put a whole salt shaker down your mouth, okay? But what you do is you take about a little bit of salt and you pour a little bit of that in your hand, okay? Just about a dime or a nickel size pot in your thing, and you just pop it in your mouth, and you take it in that way, and then you swig it down with a little bit of water, and that'll add some electrolyte value into your system so that your body can continue to function. Why is electrolyte so important? Well, electrolytes are what helps the electricity flow in your body with your nerves. If your electrolytes get depleted, your body has a hard time functioning with the electricity flowing through your body, and that starts to cause problems with organ function, brain function, respiration, and things of that nature. So you want to keep the electrolytes coming in, but again, you don't want to overdo it with the salt, definitely don't want to overdo it with the sugar, but in moderate amounts, spaced out over time, you'll do okay. Like I said, about 3-to-1 is the ratio that I use. Others may recommend something else, but hydration and electrolyte replacement is very, very important. And as we finish up talking a little bit about this hydration, understand that in the field, especially when you're out backpacking and things of that nature, you are probably sweating, up to 2 quarts of water, 2 liters of water, at least every day. And if you're in a really hot environment, you're sweating 3 or 4 an hour. In the desert training areas, they always tell you to drink water every couple of hours, and drink at least a liter every couple of hours. Your body's just sweating profusely, and your body's just losing water like crazy. And again, another reason for electrolyte replacement. But you got to keep the water coming in. Drinking about 4 to 6 liters of water in a desert environment is probably about what you need to maintain without overdoing it. However, but if you drink 6 liters of water in 30 minutes, it's probably not a good thing for your body. So you want to space that out. You want to drink the water responsibly. So as we talk about that, just remember, electrolyte replacement and hydration are key components for keeping your body well watered. Okay, Some other things that I carry just as comfort items, but also can promote also drinking of the water, is a hot chocolate packet. Again, this is just a comfort item, you know, that you take, you know, on a cold day. It's always nice to have when you get up in the morning, or maybe before you go to bed at night. Maybe have a little bit of hot chocolate. Again, you can buy these in different configurations. Some of them are non-caffeinated, some of them are caffeinated, some of them are all organic, some of them are not. So whatever your preference is. And so you might just want to take a chocolate bar, a piece of chocolate with you, and just melt it in your hot water that you're boiling, and have some hot chocolate that way if that's what you prefer to do. However, I always like to keep a little bit of hot chocolate. Again, there's a little bit of a sugar value in it. Again, if you're again, take this in, you know, after 3 or 4 days in the field, you know, again, it's going to give you a little bit of electrolyte replacement as well. So the next thing is coffee. Now, I'm a coffee man. I like coffee, and I know that a lot of backpackers like coffee. In fact, they make special coffee presses for people to take their special blends out there and do their thing with them. But one of the things that I found are just these little simple packs like this. You can get them decaffeinated or caffeinated, but coffee for me is just one of those things that I just like to carry with me, because I like to have a good hot cup of coffee in the morning, and I like to usually have a good hot at least one hot cup of coffee in the afternoon. Don't recommend these obviously for before you go to bed, because you need your sleep in the field, but these are good. So this is what I carry in my meal kit. Be interested to hear your comments below about what you're carrying and what you recommend. Obviously, there's a lot more we could discuss about that. There's a lot more variety out there concerning meal items in that you can carry, whether it be potted meat, or whether it be sardines, or whether it be meals ready to eat, whatever it is your preference is. But again, this is kind of what I'm carrying, and I try to keep it compact and simple. Again, this is what I'm carrying, so look forward to your comments below. Be sure to like or subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. Until then, this is Bill at Major Hiker, just reminding you to be safe, be prepared, and eventually I want to see you out on the trail.